Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of You Skipped That. I'm Alex Grace.
And I'm Dan Clark.
And this is the show where two friends who have seen a lot of movies, but not the same movies.
Not always the same.
Not always the same movies. Share a movie that the other one hasn't seen and then discuss.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Just podcasting.
Just gabbing, Just new podcast goofing.
Yep.
Alright, so the movie this week is the 1999 crime thriller starring Tommy Lee Jones and Ashley Judd, Double Jeopardy. I don't know why I put them in that order. Tommy Lee Jones is in much less of this movie than...
Yeah, Ashley Judd is really the...
far and away the main character.
Does the heavy lifting. I mean, Tommy Lee Jones is in enough
Yeah,
to...
2/3 at least.
Yeah, it's not one of those situations where you're like, why was he get, like, even second billing? No, he's in quite a bit of the movie.
And important to the plot.
Very.
Well, let's just cut right to the chase. What'd you think?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely doesn't deserve the low ratings that I saw. It's got...
Right.
It's got like a 20-something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Absolutely baffled me when I saw it.
Early.
Oh, man. Oh. I knew I was going to do it today, too, because I've been saying it a lot today.
For those uninitiated, we have an absolutely jar. We found that we say the word too many times, so anytime we say the word absolutely...
Tink.
Except in cases of explaining the absolutely jar.
In which case you would just racked up 3 more. But,
Yeah,
Hey, we got to have exceptions. That's what makes rules happen.
Right.
Yeah, I was completely baffled by just how low the ratings on this were.
Yeah.
It does not feel earned at all.
No, it's not a great movie.
No, this is not the movie I expected to see certified fresh on.
Right.
But I was thinking, 50, 60.
Yeah.
Maybe,
There are some very stupid things in this movie.
Oh, there's some incredibly stupid things in this movie.
This is the movie where you just kind of... It doesn't matter what kind of a car crash you're in. You just kind of walk away with maybe bumps and bruises.
Yeah, you can flip a sedan in an old pickup truck and be fine.
Yeah. What was it? It's like some kind of a... What was it the cops were driving? Was that a...
Oh, yeah, the Jeep. Yeah, first of all...
That they roll like 3 or 4 times and they get out and continue the chase.
Yeah.
They just kind of stumble a little bit and like, wait a second. Cool, got my equilibrium back. Let's go catch a murderer.
Yeah. Well, let's discuss the gist of the plot a little bit. So, Ashley Judd plays the wife of a ostensibly wealthy businessman and philanthropist.
Yeah.
We start on a nice party. We get to see her son, her best friend, all the characters that will be relevant to this, and a few that never show up again. After this party, the husband takes her away on a nice trip doing her favorite activity, sailing, during which she wakes up covered in blood and finds a bloody knife on the deck of the ship.
Like you do.
And then the husband is nowhere to be found. Whatever has happened. Naturally, the cops come upon this scene and decide that she totally killed this guy.
Well, when they come upon her, she is holding the knife.
Yeah, holding the bloody knife.
That was the first indication I had that this is going to be kind of a stupid movie.
Yeah.
It shows like a close-up of the knife on the deck of the sailboat, and she grabs it in a very particular way so that no matter how she holds it, it's unmistakably a knife, and also all 5 of her fingers come in touch with it, so she leaves good fingerprints.
Yeah.
Which I thought was going to come back, and instead they just skip 99% of the trial.
Oh, yeah.
The beginning of this movie does go very quickly.
It goes very quickly. I forget how fast the beginning of this movie goes. It's been a few years since I'd seen it.
This is an hour 45-ish minute movie. They could have padded out the beginning just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, your husband's dead. By the way, he's been declared dead. You're being charged with his murder. We're having the trial. We're going to show 2 questions, and now you're convicted and you're in prison. And now it's 6 years later, and you look no different, but you're getting out of prison on parole.
Yep.
It just, that's about how the opening part of this movie is.
It does.
And then it slows down.
All of that takes about 30, 45 minutes.
Probably not. But yeah, 20, 30 minutes
Yeah.
tops. And then we get into the meat and potatoes of the movie.
Because it doesn't take long for her to realize, due to a phone call with her ex-best friend and son, that her husband dun dun dun, is still alive. Which brings up both the title of the movie and something that I'm pretty sure is incorrect in the movie.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I mean, I guess, because the concept of double jeopardy is you cannot be charged with the same crime twice. And someone says, dude, if your husband's still alive and you're convicted of killing him, you can just straight up kill him now and they can't charge you for it again. Which I suppose is fair, because they'd probably go, well, you were already being punished
Right.
for his death, and we're going to have to check the rule book, but I'm pretty sure that killing someone is a violation of your parole. So you're just going to go back in now and continue serving your sentence for killing the guy that you just killed.
Right.
So I guess, yeah, she wouldn't be charged again. They'd just go, I mean, I guess back in prison with you.
Yeah, I guess.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that was one that this time kind of stuck in my head a little bit. I was like, I'm not sure that's right.
I did have a moment of, I don't think that you're allowed to just do more murder. This might be dating the episode again, but we are kind of in the wake of the Chase situation. Have you not heard about this?
No.
Where people thought they could hack Chase by going and filling out checks to themselves for insane amounts of money, depositing them, and then withdrawing the money.
Tell me this isn't true.
This is true. I'm surprised as much as because my TikTok feed was dominated by this.
Yeah.
People went, you
This
can just
is
deposit
hilarious.
the money and take it back out, and they can't do anything to you because like the check is cleared, and people are finding out that's not a hack, that's check fraud. Which is, believe it or not, a felony over a certain amount. And they all went over a certain amount.
Oh my goodness.
All that to say, I was getting the same feeling off of this movie that I was off of that. Because when I first heard about it, when people were like, oh no, yeah, you just deposit a check and then withdraw the money and they can't do anything about it. I'm not sure that's how laws work. I don't think that's how this happens.
Yeah.
I believe you still can't do murder.
Right.
It's just not allowed. The law is very clear on this.
Yes, that is one of the few really, like, cut and dry.
Black and white. I mean, I guess not black and white. There's self-defense. But yeah.
But yeah, generally speaking, 99 times out of 100, you kill somebody, that's a crime.
That's a crime.
Yeah.
You at least get asked questions about it.
Well, certainly.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's probably like my one really big nitpick about this movie is that. But really, once you put that aside, put that out of your head for a minute, it's actually pretty fun, especially the third act.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, anytime a movie goes to New Orleans, I have two thoughts on this. One, New Orleans kind of becomes a character in and of itself.
It's
in the
a very distinct city.
Yeah. Like, they spent the whole first act of the movie in Washington and the whole second act of the movie in Colorado. And if you hadn't told me where those were, wouldn't have been able to place it.
As someone who lived in Colorado for a long time.
As somebody who lived in
you
Colorado.
still wouldn't have been able to, yeah.
It could have been Colorado, Wyoming, Montana. Who cares?
Yeah.
As soon as she stepped into New Orleans, it's like, well, we know where this is taking place.
Yep.
Even if we hadn't seen the address on the screen. It's obvious.
Yeah, all the architecture, the fact that all the signs are in French.
Yep. All the music.
The fact that it always looks like there's a party going on for something, even if it's a funeral.
Yeah, once the movie gets to New Orleans, it just kind of hits the gas and does not let up. Because, yeah, like, all of my complaints happen in those first two acts, and then that third act is just like, man, this is actually kind of fun.
But it's something that we've talked about, or that I have mentioned on the show before. I mentioned it with Lady Hawk. I know I mentioned it with another movie. Sometimes when you get something really stupid out there really early, like in Lady Hawk, when it's like, cool, synthesizer music. This is the kind of movie that we're watching. Okay, I got it. I know what we're doing. When Libby was in prison and someone came up and went, I used to be a lawyer until I killed someone. You know Double Jeopardy? It means you get a free murder now. I went, this is the kind of movie I'm watching.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. It doesn't hurt that both of the leads really bring it.
They do.
There was a moment at the very beginning of the movie when Libby, played by Ashley Judd, has woken up and is looking around the boat, all the bloody trail leading up. Like, once she realizes it's blood, she makes this noise. And it just clicked with me. Like, of course that's the sound that someone would make when they fear that their husband is dead. has been murdered or horribly wounded. Like, I've never been in that situation, but I'm like, of course that's the kind of sound that you'd make. She has like it's like this weird choking kind of cry, like as she's trying not to lose her composure. It's very visceral.
It grabs you.
Yeah. So yeah, she really brings it. And of course, Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones is the master of the really grumpy quip.
Yep.
Like, I don't think anyone save maybe Harrison Ford does it better. Mm-hmm. Weird that those guys were in a movie together. A remarkably similar movie to this one. But, yeah.
What movie were they in together?
Fugitive.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Both of them involve Tommy Lee Jones tracking down somebody falsely accused of a murder who is looking to commit a murder.
Yep. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. I don't know why I didn't.
Both involve a confrontation at a fancy party.
That one was fun.
Yes.
She's tracked down her husband, who isn't nearly as dead as anyone's been led to believe. And he's at like a bachelor auction. Mm-hmm. And she keeps bidding on him, but she's in the crowd, so he can't see her. And everyone's kind of looking around for who's making these insane bids, which apparently no one ever collects on.
Right, yeah.
She ends up spending $10,000 on him, and no one comes up and goes, "Is that going to be check or cash?" They just kind of wander off. Though I guess they never leave the building, so maybe it's something that you do at the door. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. But when she's lost in the crowd and kind of waiting, like, at what point is he going to catch a glimpse of her and realize just how much trouble he's in?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And the whole chase, because I guess we haven't gotten around to this part of the plot, Tommy Lee Jones plays her parole officer.
Right.
And she skips out on parole. Another stupid thing when she's getting ready to skip out on parole. Apparently you can just dump a car off the back of a ferry and, like, no one notices.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Like, even Tommy Lee Jones, who is standing on top of the ferry at the time, almost misses it.
Yeah.
Just barely catches this car falling off the ferry.
That has been crashing into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
While she's trying to get herself free, because she's handcuffed to the handle on the car. And then his car goes into the water while they're both in it, and it's about half sunk before anyone goes, "Is that a car in the water?"
Yeah.
And then everyone notices.
Like, oh no, those poor people.
Yeah. That safety netting that's at the back that they very prominently show apparently does nothing. That's just tearaway stuff as far as this movie's concerned. But she ends up escaping, and Tommy Lee Jones chases her. Mm-hmm. Will chase her to the ends of the earth.
Much to the chagrin of his boss, who's just the classic, angry cop boss back home, who's like, "Hey, you're a renegade, get back here.
You're a loose cannon." But while that whole chase, anytime you see him getting close to her, it is kind of like, do I want him to catch her or don't I?
Right. It's weird because it's kind of a murder mystery from the vantage point of the murderer. Uh-huh. It's like you're watching her stalk this guy, and there's a huge part of you who's like, "You go, girl.
Yeah,
get him."
He deserves it.
I loved the whole bit when they get to New Orleans and she thinks she's going to get to see her son. That whole bit where she's following him through the graveyard.
Cemetery. Yeah.
It just kind of, the whole time you're like, oh, something bad's going to happen. You just know it.
I really thought that it was going to be that Tommy Lee Jones, Travis is the character's name, was going to be around some corner, and that was going to be the end of the chase. Mm-hmm. And then, like, they're going to have to cut a deal or something like that. That's really, every time she turned a corner, I was expecting him to be there.
What's funny is I've seen this movie, and there was a little bit of me that was thinking that, too.
Yeah. And that's the mark of a good movie. Like, even if you've seen it, you know, like you feel tension. You feel like, I know how this ends. And still I'm tense. Maybe it'll be different this time. I do that with Gravity.
Yeah.
At the end when she's in the water, I'm like, God, I hope she makes it. I've seen this movie so many times. I know she makes it.
Right.
But it's the mark of a well-done movie that even when you know how it resolves, you worry about how it's going to resolve.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, going back to Gravity. I was sitting there the whole time. She was trying to get out of the water. I'm like, this is not how this movie ends. Mm. This is not how this movie ends.
Though it was clearly at the end of the movie. I guess she could die and we wouldn't be cutting the running time down at all.
Right?
It's not like she's in danger in the first 5 minutes. And you're like, God, I hope she makes it out. Of course she does.
Yeah.
So the movie can happen.
She's on the poster. But going back to the movie at hand, Bruce Greenwood was a great smarmy bad guy in this.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him in other stuff. I cannot tell you exactly what right now.
He was in both of the Star Trek reboot
Right,
movies.
he was Captain Pike.
Captain Pike, yep. So I'm used to seeing him as kind of this, likable, father-like figure, not this absolutely smarmy son of a gun that I'm like, yeah, somebody probably should murder you.
Well, this is the thing about watching like a 25-year-old movie. I'm like, I know that guy.
Right.
I've seen that guy in stuff. I couldn't tell you at the time what, but I knew I'd seen him. He's an actor that you know. But was he an actor that you'd know in 1999?
Right. Not really.
Nowadays, I would have thought he's well known enough that they did not sign him on and pay his salary so that he could be in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Right.
He has to come back. There's no way he's dead.
Yeah.
But then I had to think, now back in 1999, was he big enough that... Is this like watching Raiders of the Lost Ark and going, well, Alfred Molina has to come back. I mean, he's Alfred Molina. Like, oh, wait, this is his first movie.
Yeah.
Or Lady Hawk, when you're like, well, they're not just going to unceremoniously kill him off. Oh, wait, yeah, this is like his second movie.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I had a moment of that. I was like, is he really dead? Probably not. I mean, you don't find the body. You don't, in movies, you don't trust it unless you see the body.
Comic book rules.
Right. So I was kind of wondering on that. Like, I think he's coming back, but I don't, they might have actually killed him off, and then she has to find, the murderer. But then again, why would they call it double indemnity in that? No,
Double Jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy. I knew I was going to do that.
Yeah.
That's a different movie. That's a good movie. Yeah, if that's the case, why would they call it Double Jeopardy? Mm-hmm. I think he's coming back, but...
Yep. And the moment you find out he's back is pretty great.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is this movie is a couple of really good moments wrapped in some okay...
Cheeseball.
Yeah, a little bit of cheese.
Yeah.
But, the moment where she's on the phone with Maddie, and he goes, Daddy! And she goes, Nick? And he rips the phone out of the wall. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. I didn't think that was going to be the last time we saw the friend.
Yeah.
That kind of felt like, it's like, did something happen to the actress? Like, did she get fired or something? Because she's made out to be, it's Libby's best friend who has apparently somehow been involved in this whole situation. Because, I mean, she's with the dead guy.
Some friend.
And you're like, okay, so this is coming back. She's lined up to be like a solid B villain, where there's going to be a point later on in the movie where they almost connect again, and you think, is she really going to shoot her? And then Libby totally shoots her because you took 6 years of my life, and then you just find out, oh no, she died.
Yeah, there
was a gas explosion and she died.
Yeah.
Although
it's pretty heavily insinuated that he killed her too.
Yeah, but still, she never.
Yeah.
They give this great hook for a villain story. Yeah. And they go, yeah, but she died off.
Yeah, but she died.
She died off screen.
Yeah. On her way back to her home planet.
And also, again, in the list of stupid stuff, which is a mile long in this movie. But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
That doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
No.
That's a lot of fun.
I'm pretty sure that when you run a credit check on someone, it would pop up if they are dead.
Yeah, I'd think so.
Because they go a long time just looking for this woman to get her address. Libby goes to try and buy a car under her name. And I'm also pretty sure when they run your credit check, they don't come out and go, oh, so you're Angie Green from 321 whatever street, just where anyone can hear.
Yeah, but you gotta think this was the 90s, and credit reports had only been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
If that. We were a lot less careful with that stuff.
Right.
Then.
But again, even as young as it was, I'm pretty sure it would pop up deceased on that.
Yeah,
so
totally.
that you're not selling a car
to a dead person.
To someone posing as a dead person.
Yeah.
Yeah, she goes and tries to buy a car so that she can get the address, and Travis does some looking into it as well, and at no point does it pop up, yes, she died.
Well, and here's something to consider. They were under fake identities. So it's possible that Angie Green wouldn't have shown up dead. So-and-so Ryder would have shown up dead.
When they did the credit report for Angie Green, that's how she got the address that she went to,
that's
where they found out.
I wonder if she changed her name after she changed her address.
It's
and
possible.
Somehow that didn't,
Yeah, it's possible.
I'm giving this movie more rope than it deserves.
It's a stupid movie.
It is, but I like it.
It's a fun. I liked it too.
Yeah,
stupid movies can be
fun
and good and worth watching.
We watched Lucky Number 11
and Lady Hawk.
Yeah, fair.
You come after my movies.
You were just coming after mine, so now you've come after two of my movies.
No, I said I liked the movie.
Yeah, exactly. I've liked all your movies too.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it really does feel like a movie that the writer just vaguely heard what Double Jeopardy means and went, I could make a movie out of that. Mm-hmm. And someone went, do you want to maybe research that? No need. I understand everything I need to know from a half-heard conversation at a cocktail party. So, and really, Double Jeopardy has very little to do with the movie. It's just, like, it never comes up. It comes up once at the beginning, once in the middle, and once at the very end.
Yep. And then that isn't even really how she ends up getting out of it.
Right.
Turns out when somebody is menacingly shooting at you and an officer of the law, people generally tend to be okay with you shooting that guy.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, we convicted you of a murder that didn't happen, so I guess our bad.
Yeah. To pay you back, apparently we're going to let you be free to drive cross-country back to Washington with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
An injured Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Arm in a cast. After you go pick up your son, so...
Yeah. Now, that's a conversation that I thought about as I was watching the end of that movie. I was like, how do you explain all of that to your kid? It's like, so, your mom, who you thought was dead, still alive. Your dad, who dropped you off here just a couple months ago, totally dead. So, your dad totally sucked. He was the worst.
It's okay. We got a long drive back to Washington with my parole officer, so... Yeah, that movie did kind of end in a way that... There are questions still.
Yeah.
It reminded me, have you seen the movie The Help?
Yes.
Spoilers for The Help. At the end, it ends on a wealthy white neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And Viola Davis's character just walking away after having done a lot of stuff to upset a lot of white people.
In the South.
In the South, yeah.
In a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there's a reason I specified it was a white neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because that is a significant part of that movie.
It was in the 60s.
If you don't know, then...
Maybe go watch The Help. It's a good movie.
It was pretty good.
It's not bad.
But she turns and is walking. Not driving. She is walking down this street in a very racist neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And it just plays cheerful music and starts rolling credits. I'm like, I'm not relaxed until she gets home, okay?
Right, yeah.
We have not resolved this movie yet. She's not safe until... It's the same way with this, where it's like, oh, cool. The kid is glad that his mom is alive.
Yeah.
There's still questions to be answered.
Yep.
This kid's got a lot of baggage to sort through.
And I feel like the issue is, with both The Help and this, they're not that kind of movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really want to end the movie on a prolonged conversation with an increasingly traumatized 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but...
Yeah, like you said, you're left with questions, but you weren't ever going to get answers. So, consensus, kind of dumb.
Pretty good.
But a lot of fun.
Pretty good.
A lot of fun.
It's stupid, but I will remember that I watched this.
Yes.
It's not one of those stupid movies where a month down the line, 2 months down the line, I'm going to go, what was Double Jeopardy?
Yeah, you'll remember the plot of this.
Looking at the episode list, I'm not going to go, did we do one with Tommy Lee Jones? I don't remember it. No, I will remember this movie for some very memorable sequences, for some very interesting ideas, even if it's the bad kind of interesting.
Yeah. But there are plenty of the good kind of interesting, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go a lot of beautiful locations in this movie, too.
They do.
That's a weird recurring thing in some of the stupid movies I introduce you to, is just ridiculously beautiful location shots. Because, Lady Hawk is just chock full of, hey, look at this beautiful place in Italy.
I did not think when we started this podcast that our most talked about movie was going to be Lady Hawk. I think it's our longest episode.
You also know that to date, it's still the most viewed episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
And we've referred to it in more episodes than anything else.
I think we've referred to it in probably more than half of the episodes.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
I am too.
Yeah.
We'll just be those two guys who talk about Lady Hawk too much and say absolutely way too many times.
Yeah.
That's referring to it, so that does not count.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any other thoughts on Double Indemnity?
You did it again. It's Double Jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy. I actually, when we were coming up with a list for this show, and you asked if I'd seen Double Jeopardy, I was like, why do you know that, like, 1940s, 1950s insurance fraud? No, that's Double Indemnity. Different crime.
Different crime.
Yeah. That one's about insurance fraud, and this one is about a bunch of other kinds of crime.
Yeah, I wonder which has a higher felony count in it, this or 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Probably 9 to 5, yeah.
This one's really just like
2 or 3 felonies. No, it's more than that. A whole lot of misdemeanor car damage.
Yeah. Yeah, she never hits anyone, so it's never attempted vehicular homicide.
She does wipe out that payphone.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I don't think that was meant to be funny, but I found it very funny.
It had a couple moments where it's like, I don't think that was supposed to be funny, but...
And then, thank God for Tommy Lee Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's there for all of the intentional funny.
Yeah.
Especially in the second half of the movie, where he's just coming up against secretaries and lazy detectives, and he's just like, hey, do you want to, I don't know, do your job?
Another moment that I thought in the moment was stupid, and they end up fixing it. Mm-hmm. When he like yells at his boss, I'm like, just send me the picture from the ID of this guy so I can know if I'm doing my job right. And he slams the phone down, and a couple minutes later he sends through the fax, and it's the wrong guy. It's not this guy's picture on the ID. Yeah. It's the husband who is supposed to be dead who isn't dead. And you're like, just send me the Washington driver's license for Nick Parsons.
Yeah.
And they send it through, and it's not his picture on it. I thought, there's no way that there's only one Nick Parsons in the entire state of Washington.
Especially when it comes up earlier in the movie that she searches Angie Green in the education database, and there's like 50 of them.
Mm-hmm. That was a fun scene, too.
Yeah.
But we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
He sends through the picture, and he's like, oh, man, it's not him. Like, there's more Nick Parsons out there. Just keep looking. And that is part of the reveal. He's like, look, I got this, I looked it up, and it's not your picture. And he goes, oh, wow, cool. How about that? He's like, but funny thing.
This one is.
There's more than one Nick Parsons. And I think he says, like, there's 6. I'm like, that's even low right there.
Yeah.
Nick Parsons is a common name. But yeah, the scene where she's using this internet thing.
Yeah, boy. 1999, man. What a time.
Where computers were new and movies did not, or the film industry did not yet know how to depict them.
Yeah.
Even back in 1999, when you searched for something, it didn't pop up searching. It just spun for a long time and got stuck at like 97%. Mm-hmm. And then your mom yelled at you to get off the internet because they had to call someone. Mm-hmm. But this guy is helping her out. And he's like, hey, you want to, like, maybe we go get a drink? She's like, I'd love that. I haven't had a drink since I got out. He's like, out of where? Prison? Oh, okay, prison. You were in jail. She's like, no, fun fact, jail and prison are 2 different things. It's like, oh, so, like, bank fraud or something like that? I was convicted of killing my husband. Sliced and diced is what the newspaper said. Like, oh, I think I got to go somewhere.
He's like, oh, yeah, bye-bye now.
He's even, like, fumbling around for an excuse. Like, I just remember I got to, like, go to the thing or the thing. She's like, no, I got it. Have a good day.
And the whole time she's just wearing the grin of a woman who's just figured out how to make every annoying man go away for the rest of her life.
And then she loses it by the end, because you got to imagine that's a big news story.
Yeah.
Would have been worth it to just let it all stick so she'd have the excuse.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But then she would have been running from the law.
And that's a whole thing.
Though I have talked to women before who
make that trade.
Would have to think about it at
think
least.
about it before they...
I don't know. Yeah. Like, how hard are they looking for me?
That's true.
Yeah, overall, good movie. Not in a technical sense, but it's fun in spite of itself.
Yeah, and it's a great weekend afternoon watch.
Mm-hmm. I'd recommend it.
Absolutely.
There it is.
Tink.
There you go. I rented it for $4. I didn't waste my money.
There you go.
It's $15 to buy. I would have been bothered if I spent that much.
Yeah.
But I'll keep an eye out for it on sale.
There you go. Gotta love those sales.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten more movies that way.
Yeah, I have gotten so many movies that I still haven't watched.
Right, including several that are on my list.
Yep.
For the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, socials.
You can find us on Facebook at You Skipped That, all 3 words. Spaces in between, just like you'd say it. You can find us on Threads, TikTok, and Instagram at You Skipped That, all one word, all lowercase. We share different stuff all of those places. On Threads, you'll probably just find me chatting with other people about movies. Instagram, you'll see fun facts from each of our podcast episodes, as well as, just other random stuff I decide to post. And Facebook is where you'll go to find announcements of upcoming episodes and little conversation starters about movies, actors, usually on theme with whatever episode came out that week.
Not always, but usually.
Usually, yeah. It's kind of become my Sunday afternoon tradition to sit down and come up with ideas for social media stuff. When you're sitting around this Sunday, just imagine me sitting at my computer going, oh my gosh, what am I going to write about this movie?
Cool. Got to come up with a week's worth of material on Double Jeopardy.
Oh, I'll come up with stuff.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones movies, crime thrillers, movies set in New Orleans. The options are endless.
Your work is done.
I know. Look at that. See? Helping out in more ways than one.
Yeah.
All right, folks. This has been another thrilling episode of You Skip That. I'm Alex Grace.
I'm Dan Clark.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.